Okay. Haribol, namaste everyone. Dito ako sa Haribol Janner, Mamina, Haribol. Ito lang. Isa na. Okay. Nawa Om Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimad Sida Swarupananda. Paramaham Saiti Namini. Taja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Dvaita Gadadara. Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktabinda. Krishna. Nawala. So, nagpalit ako ng Haribol.
Haribol, ma'am. Okay po, narinig po namin kayo.
Nawala. So, nagpalit ako ng internet. Grabe. Sabi
Yan
si
na yung
Kuya,
pinakang volume mo, ma'am.
oh, talaga. Hindi okay. Hindi malakas.
Naka-headset kasi ako. Naka 70% na po ako dito. Hindi ko alam kila Sir George kung okay yung volume.
Okay naman po
Haribol,
yung volume.
George.
Haribol, ma'am.
Okay naman.
Yes, yes.
Okay naman daw po.
Salamat. Sana okay din ang internet. Krishna, maawa ka. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Ora Karuna Sarvaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate Namo Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Ora Karuna Sarvaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate Vajra Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhaktabinda Vajra Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Vrindavan Bhakya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Vrindavan Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol 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 Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopala 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana, Mohana, 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 Haribo, Nitai Go, Nitai Go, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Go, Nitai Go, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Radhe 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 Govinda, Radhe 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 Gopala, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda, Gopinatha, Madana, Mohana, Hari Bol, Nitai Go, Hari Bo, Nitai Go, Hari Bo. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Po, Jai Srila Prabhupada po. Salamat po. Krishna Krishna. Salamat
Oh,
po.
namaste. Thank you very much, Elinet and family. Maraming salamat sa iyong magandang kirtan, entry kirtan. I welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before anything else, let us all pray. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Siddha Swarupananda, Paramahamsa Iti Namine. Bhaja Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Thank you very much, Mr. Freddy. Haribo.
Namaste, namaste.
Okay, now we are going to read and discuss. I believe it is Mr. Pravin who's going to do the first reading.
Haribol.
Haribol, Mr. Pravin.
I believe we are in text 11. Can
Yes po, sir.
someone?
Yes po, sir. Text 11. Hold on lang po.
Yeah. Okay. Text 11. Translation. The good sages said,
Hold
"Oh,
on.
grave Sutta Goswami."
Hold on, Pravin. The text is not yet there. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's wait till it is flashed in the screen. Okay,
Okay.
there you go. So that everybody can follow.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Text 11. Translation. Oh, good sages. The good sages said, "Oh, grave Sutta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame. For you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us." Purport. When we hear about the transcendental activities and the activities of the personality of Godhead, we may always remember what has been spoken by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 9. His acts, even when He acts in human society, are all transcendental, for they are all accentuated by the spiritual energy of the Lord, which is distinguished from His material energy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, such acts are called divyam. This means that he does not act or take his birth like an ordinary living being under the custody of material energy, nor is his body material or changeable like that of ordinary living beings. And one who understands this fact either from the Lord or from authorized persons. He is not reborn after leaving the present material body. Such an enlightened soul is admitted into the spiritual realm of the world of the Lord and engages in the transcendental loving services of the Lord. Therefore, the more we hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord as they are stated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and the more we can know about his transcendental nature and thus make definite progress on the path back to the Godhead. Haribol.
Would you like to read one
Sure,
more verse?
sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
Translation. This is text 12. Translation. We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govind, which you are distributing. Purport. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisharanya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert Brahmins able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agricultural enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmins of the age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the spiritual injunction that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance, but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Sutta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically, one can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Naimisharanya were practically sufferers from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Sudha Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service of the Lord. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So here we see the uh, Sutta Goswami talking with the sages of Naimisaranya. So he was actually pointing out that in Kali Yuga, the Brahmanas are not, many of them are not qualified. The Brahmanas, and that they may engage in some sacrificial, they may engage in the fire of sacrifice, but they are actually engaged in not spiritual activity, but they're engaged in fruitive activity. So if you engage in fruitive activity, there is no spiritual value in that. Fruitive activity means you do certain sacrifice, no, for your own self interest, your own benefit. That's why it is called fruitive. The fruits of your action, you enjoy it. So therefore, it is never considered a spiritual activity. No. It can only be seen as a spiritual activity when you engage in a fire, the fire of sacrifice as brahmanas. That can satisfy the Lord, that can satisfy Guru Dev. Sino nagsasalita? Okay. So that is the barometer, no? The barometer. In other words, if you want to know the activity of a certain brahmana, whether that brahmana is qualified or not, is by way of checking the results of his so-called sacrifice and the intention. If the intention is to just simply enjoy someone's sense enjoyment or his own sensual pleasure, that is not spiritual activity. Spiritual activity is geared towards serving and pleasing the spiritual master and Krishna. That is spiritual activity. So any activity that is geared towards materialistic goals or purpose is actually not only that it is not spiritual, but it is actually dangerous. Why is it dangerous? Because as brahmanas, the brahmana is supposed to be guiding the conditioned souls from the material dimension to the spiritual dimension. So if his activity is not based on spiritual cultivation, yeah, that is dangerous because he is not engaged in his prescribed duty as a brahmana. So instead of alleviating the spiritual wisdom of the people around him, he actually makes it so that the people around him becomes more materialistic. Yeah. So that is the way of checking it. The intention and of course the result. What is the result? If the intention is not spiritual, the result will not be spiritual. But if the intention is spiritual, then the result is also spiritual. It is very scientific. Okay, so that's why there has always be a bona fide brahmana, a bona fide spiritual master to speak the absolute truth. That's why the sages of Naimisaranya were very thankful and full of gratitude to Sutta Goswami, because it was Sutta Goswami who actually is the one explaining to them the pastimes of Krishna, yeah, and he explains the spiritual values of those pastimes, etc. Without somebody like Sutta Goswami, they won't be able to understand what spiritual life is all about. They wouldn't be able to understand because mere academic mind or academic uh, intelligence is not a qualification to understand spiritual life, to understand the words of Krishna and the activities and pastimes of Krishna. Not enough. It has got to be a pure devotee who will be there to explain. Okay, so let's read furthermore.
Haribol, namaste po.
Haribol,
Text
Pinky,
30.
is that you?
Yes po, sir.
Okay,
Text
Pinky, go ahead.
30, translation. The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. Purport. When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Men who are addicted to material happiness aspire to reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus, and Indraloka, and those who are advanced in material philosophical speculations aspire after liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called apunar bhava, or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasures obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria, and because they are already liberated from all material conceptions of pleasure and distress, they are factually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in a transcendental existence, namely the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. As a government servant is always the same, either in the office or at home or at any place, so a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can be derived from material benedictions, like kingship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal. It has no end, because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are completely different from material assets, there is no comparison between the two. Sutta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord. Therefore, his association with the rishis in Naimisaranya is unique. In the material world, association with gross materialists is veritably condemned. The materialist is called Yosit Sangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement. woman, and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it drives away the benedictions of life and prosperity. And just the opposite is Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association with the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable, it is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life. Haribol Namaste po.
Maribol Pinky, thank you very much. So it's very obvious, no, that the words coming from the mouth of a bona fide spiritual master, a pure devotee of Krishna, can never be compared with anybody in this world. I mean, the materialists, no matter how intelligent they are, no matter how bright they are, no matter what kind of education, higher education they were able to attain. That is not a qualification for spiritual emancipation. No, uh, it is it is only good for material knowledge and for material pleasures. Material knowledge has nothing to do with spiritual knowledge. Material knowledge means that a person is only uh, his only goal, his only interest is the pleasure of his body, because he believes that there is only one energy, and that is material energy. So the materialists and the karmists, the non-devotees, their purpose in life is to make the body enjoy, to make the mind enjoy, like that. That is as far as they can get. When you ask them what is happiness, you know, they will even be surprised. What do you mean by that? What How can you define happiness? Of course, because they don't have any clue as to what transcendental knowledge is all about, as to what spiritual wisdom is all about. The highest pleasure that they can go is material pleasure, sensual pleasure. Anything that is beyond that is seen as mystical, or it is seen as um, straight from Walt Disney productions, like that. Parang to them, spiritual energy, the wisdom of spiritual energy is not factual. That's for them. That is not factual. That's why the highest pleasure that they can ever imagine is material pleasure, the pleasure of the senses. Yeah, anything other than that uh, is seen as as parang mystical, parang hindi something that is not factual. That's why they always say, the reason why we only accept material energy as the only energy is because it can be measured by our senses. Anything that cannot be measured by our senses is not factual. So to them, spiritual knowledge or spiritual wisdom is not based on science, but it is just based on faith. It's just based on faith, like that. But if you try to look at it closely, they also have the same thing. Can they explain the whole universe? Can they explain why the heart, for instance, is pumping? Why is it pumping? Can they explain that? Can they explain consciousness? Can they explain intelligence and the mind? Yeah. They were able to explain electricity. They are able to explain, for example, yeah, the physical structure of the body, like that. So that's why, in medical science right now, they have doctor of this, doctor of that, doctor of this, doctor of that. They um, they study this, but anything other than the material energy, they couldn't accept. They cannot accept it. So if they're saying that somebody who is engaged in spiritual activity or religion, yeah, because we are also espousing Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion of man. That is what we are espousing. Yeah. Uh, that is totally different from the so-called religiosity. And I think we have discussed this several times already. Yeah. So I will not repeat the difference between Sanatan Dharma and so-called religiosity or religiousness. Yeah. But really, Sanatan Dharma is our eternal religion. That is our natural condition, and it starts with understanding who we are. Are we simply material, or are we something different? Yeah. Are we just some bunch of flesh and bones, or are we something else? Yeah. So they couldn't they couldn't answer that. If you tell them, can you please define what consciousness is? They cannot define what consciousness is. They cannot even define properly what the mind and intelligence is. They may know a little about it, but totally different, from the perspective of a Vaishnava, because the perspective of Vaishnava is that his knowledge is actually coming from Krishna himself, as Krishna taught, spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Yeah, what is consciousness in connection with the non-material self? They don't have any knowledge about that. So therefore, they're also always speculating. They're always so to maintain that speculation, the speculation to maintain that, they have got to have faith. So uh, they're also the same as a somebody who is uh, espousing religiosity. Yeah, faith. Because if they cannot explain, something that is very, very material in a sense, like, to them, I will only believe if on something that I can perceive. If anything at all is not perceivable by my senses, that's not science, according to them. Yeah. Conscience is one. They they under, they have a little knowledge about conscience, for instance. Yeah. But do you see conscience? Is that really scientifically based? Of course, they will say it's not scientifically based, but you know, uh, uh, some of them are no, some of them are truthful. They can say, yeah, that is my faith. I have faith that conscience exists because all of us we have conscience. But can you see that in the medical lab? Can you see? Like when you open the brain, where is conscience there? Where is the mind? Where is intelligence? Dito, they try to look for the mind, the intelligence, the conscience, etc. Uh, so they're also into faith to for them to be saying that they only base their knowledge on science is actually very incorrect. Mm. And not only it is incorrect, but it is actually dishonest. That's a very dishonest proposition coming from them. So that's why it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that one can only understand spiritual knowledge if one has a spiritual master, Guru Dev. If you're able to actually uh, please, serve and please your Guru Dev, it's very, very, it's very, very easy to travel the ocean of material existence. So this world is really like it's like a big ocean, yeah. And if you want to travel from point A to point B, traveling through the ocean is so vast. How can you do that alone with your own strength, material mind, with your own so-called material education? How can you do that? You're in a boat. You don't know what to do. So what is needed? You need a captain. You need a captain that can guide you through your journey towards point A to point B. Because without a captain of the ship, you will be lost, and you will and for sure, if there is a great storm that will come, you wouldn't be able to survive with just the basic knowledge. Yeah, you're trying to sail with your own mental capacity, just your own strength is not possible. You've got to have an expert. So if you have an expert, the spiritual master is like the captain of the ship. Yeah, it can actually guide you to the end of your journey. So very important to have a bona fide spiritual master. It is very essential. Okay. Next reader, please.
Haribol, sir. Shiny here po.
Sino yan?
Shiny po.
Shani. Go ahead, Shani.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Translation. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings. And his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar or rasa ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are two chiefs of the demigods. They are full of mystic powers. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, of which one drop was sufficient to kill an ordinary living being. Similarly, Brahma could create many powerful demigods, including Lord Shiva. So they are Ishvaras or lords of the universe, but they are not the supreme personality powerful. The supreme powerful is Govinda, Lord Krishna. He is the transcendence, and his transcendental attributes cannot be measured even by such powerful Ishvaras as Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the exclusive shelter of the greatest of all living beings. Brahma is counted amongst the living beings, but he is the greatest of all of us. And why is the greatest of all of the living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because he is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Everyone wants to relish some kind of taste in everything, but one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure from such engagement. The Lord is unlimited, and his name, attributes, pastimes, entourage, variegatedness, etc., are unlimited, and those who relish them can do so much or can do so unlimitedly and still not feel satiated. This fact is confirmed in the Padma Purana. Haribol Namaste po.
Haribol Namaste. Thank you very much, Sharni. So, here in this particular verse, we get to see, we get to learn that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And all the demigods, including the greatest of them all, the greatest of them all are Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Okay? Because Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are also the architect of creation and annihilation. And Lord Vishnu is Lord Krishna himself, who is uh, in charge of maintaining the entire universe. So even the greatest of all the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, you know, although they may be very, very powerful individuals, yeah, they are not God. They cannot be compared with Krishna. Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is uh, second to none. Okay, he is the source of everything. Whereas Lord Brahma, who is a very powerful being in the universe because he's considered to be the creator, uh, you cannot actually make him like the cause of all causes, because he is not the cause of all causes. He only is delegated to the creation of the material world, a particular universe. Okay, particular universe. Aside from that, wala na. But being in charge of even creating all the 8,400,000 species of life, as well as creating the bodies of the demigods, yeah, including Lord Shiva. Okay, he is to be considered the greatest here in the material world, here in this particular universe. He can be considered the greatest. Yeah, but he cannot be compared with Krishna, because Krishna is omnipotent, all powerful, all uh, he is all present, omnipresent, and he is omniscient, all knowledge. Only Krishna has those qualities in full. In full. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva doesn't have that. They can be very, very powerful in the material platform, but they can never surpass the uh, omnipotence of Krishna, the omniscience of Krishna, as well as the omnipresence of Krishna. Krishna is actually situated in every living being, whereas Lord Brahma he is only situated in his own body. He is not situated in other living beings. The same thing with Lord Shiva. Although they are very, very powerful. In India, some Hindus, they would even consider Lord Shiva to be more powerful than Krishna. I had the opportunity to have a conversation with a Hindu, and he is actually a Shivayite, a devotee of Lord Shiva. And he tells me, do you know that Lord Shiva is actually greater than Krishna? Hindi ko na lang siya I did not just like debated on him. I just suspected his views. I said, okay, that may be your perspective, but my perspective is different, you know. Because as far as omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence is concerned, who has got it? Who has got it? Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, or Lord Brahma? Then he was deep in thinking. I really don't know. It's like Birgu Muni, a a great devotee of the Lord, uh, was tasked to check who is the most powerful and also the most worshipable amongst the three tripartite, they call it a tripartite God, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Brahma. So he had to travel because, he was actually the son of Lord Brahma. So he went to his father's residence, Lord Brahma. Yeah. And mm, he wanted to check the characters of these three personalities. Yeah. So he went there without paying his obeisances. in the sastras, in the yoga tradition, it's a mortal sin if you don't pay obeisances or respects to your father or to your spiritual master. He didn't do that. He just went there, Brahma was very happy to see him, about to embrace him, but all of a sudden, he just walked there like casually without even bowing down, paying his obeisances. Yeah, so Lord Brahma became very angry. Remember, out of the three, Lord Brahma is said to be in the mode of passion, Lord Shiva in the mode of ignorance, and Lord Vishnu is in the mode of goodness. So because he was in the mode of he was in the mode of passion, yeah, he became very passionate. He wanted to curse his own son. Si Virgo Muni, yeah. But because he was Lord Brahma, yeah, and his son is a Brahmana. Virgo Muni is actually a Brahmana, also a devotee, So he just let it pass like that. But he became very angry, actually. Yeah. So he understood that maybe it's not Lord Brahma because he couldn't control his anger like that. Maybe it's Lord Shiva. So he went to Kailasa. Kailasa is where Lord Shiva stays now. And so when he entered Kailasa, Lord Shiva saw him and was very, very happy. Was very, very happy to see his brother because he was also Lord Shiva also comes from Lord Brahma, right? So parang brother niya talaga, long lost brother. But Virgo Muni said, please don't embrace me. You're so dirty. You're full of ashes, because Lord Shiva is very fond of putting ashes on his body like this. So parang pag tinignan mo, parang ang dumi-dumi, di ba? So he actually spoke the words. Unlike Lord Brahma, just by his action, just by his mind, he did not pay obeisances. But then Lord Brahma became very offended by that. No? And now here, not only the mind, but also through words. Don't touch me, you're very dirty. Uh, 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 I may catch diseases if I embrace you like this. So Lord Shiva became very offended by that. And he wanted to curse Virgo Muni. Although a friend, but sabi niya, parang nag-iba na itong kaibigan ko na to naging sobrang so he wanted to curse. But again, at the end, he took pity on Virgo Muni because it was very easy to do that. He is Lord Shiva, not just an ordinary Brahmana, So, sige na lang. So finally, he went to Lord Vishnu. When he went to Lord Vishnu, with Lord Vishnu is always the presence of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who is always massaging the feet of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu was lying there like that. And, and Bilgu Muni, not only did he not offer obeisances, yeah, but uh, he actually went over Lord Vishnu and tinapakan niya yung dibdib ni Lord Vishnu, tinapakan niya ng kanyang paa. And that is actually a very, very, in the Vedas, it is actually very offensive. Yeah. But you know what Lord Vishnu did? Lord Vishnu became very, very pleased. he told he told Lakshmi, the goddess Lakshmi, from now on you will always be with me, because the dust of the lotus feet of Virgo is on my chest. Because he stepped on my chest, the dust of it is now forever. Yeah. So he even what you would call this paid his obeisances to Virgo. And told Virgo, you may have you may have been displeased with stepping on my chest, because my chest is not soft, it is hard. You may have uh, you may have some pains on your feet, like this, ganun ka. It's Lord Vishnu. He did not hesitate to, or he did not even get disturbed or get offended by the action of the sage Virgo. So immediately he went back to uh, the association of the other sages that were there, and he narrated to them about his experience, and all of them unanimously said that it is actually Lord Vishnu who is worshipable. Because he's the greatest, he's worshipable, the most worshipable amongst all the three gods, which is stated in all of the Vedic scriptures. Lord Vishnu is none other than Krishna. Lord Vishnu is the predominating deity of the Vaikuntha Lokas as Lord Narayan. One more reader, please.
Haribol, namaste po, sir.
Namaste. Who's this?
Michi
Michi?
po. Yes.
Go ahead, Michi. Sige.
Translation. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar or rasa ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? Purport. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are two chiefs of the demigods. They are full of mystic powers. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, of which one drop was sufficient to kill an ordinary living being.
Teka,
Similarly,
nabasa na natin to kanina. Am I not correct? Didn't we read this already? Shani, di ba ikaw nagbasa nito?
Ang sa akin, sir, was, wait a minute po. Text 14 ang sa akin po.
Text what?
14.
Text 14.
Opo. Text 15 na po.
Hold on.
We have to read text 15 now, sir.
Yeah. Text 15 na Michi, you must read text 15 not text 14.
okay po,
Okay,
sir.
go ahead.
Text 15, translation. O Sutta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. Purport. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Professional speakers and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavata Saptaha for the sake of family maintenance, and the materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavata Saptaha for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities, but the discourses between the saints of Namisharanya and Sri Sutta Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive for material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and by the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Now, Bhagavata Saptahas are held for 7 days only, and after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavat Pradana, and the audience is not Susrutsatam as explained above. Thank you so much, Sir Harbol.
Thank you very much, Michi. So there is a great difference, no, between a professional speaker and somebody who is a devotee of Krishna. Sutta Goswami was a great devotee of Krishna. Okay, so he is speaking the absolute truth to the sages of Naimisaranya were all transcendental. Yeah, they all of the sages that were there uh, gets got spiritual benefit. They all were spiritually benefited by his presence there, and of course by his words. Yeah, because he was a pure devotee of Krishna, and he was actually giving Krishna to uh, to all those who were present there, the saints that were there, the sages. Uh, but compare that to the Bhagavat Saptaha. Bhagavat Saptaha are those professional uh, professional speakers who may also read the Bhagavad Purana, okay, but uh, for the benefit, yung benefit na gusto nilang ma-achieve is material benefit. So they would travel from one house to the other uh, and would give classes on Bhagavad Purana, for instance. But the owner of the house is not a devotee of Krishna. They are devotees of Maya because they for them reading this will actually increase their chances of getting material benefits. No, which is part of fruitive activity, and this is part of the what is known as material activity. Material activity is uh, economic development, yeah, economic development, religiosity, sense gratification, and salvationism. These four material activities uh, is the is the purpose and goal of this Bhagavat Saptaha, and they are being paid to do that. That's why they're professional chanters, professional speakers. They go from one place to the other. They get invited like that. Parang there is some sense of spirituality if you're not trained to really see what's going on, because they also use the Bhagavad Purana. They dress as if they are really really spiritual, but actually what their intention is to help this family or help that person to get more material facility like that. So they get paid by doing this. Professional chanters or professional readers, they are called. Devotees of Krishna are never like that. Devotees of Krishna, they go to one place or the other, or they speak the truth, no, without any expectations of anything material. They just simply do it because that is the end in itself. They're already very happy just doing that for Krishna, for their Gurudev. Uh, so there is no point of of trying to get some material benefits out of their speaking or out of their activity. And Sutta Goswami was such a a bona fide spiritual master. Yeah, he was a bona fide spiritual master, and therefore those who were listening to him get spiritual benefits. They were all spiritually benefited. Uh, the the sages of Naimisaranya. When you say sages, they're already saints. Yeah, so they were trying to listen to a pure devotee of Krishna who is considered to be a pure representative of Krishna, pure lover of Krishna. Yeah. So anything that comes out from his lotus mouth is transcendental, is beneficial to anybody who hears it. Unlike those material professional speakers, the highest that they can ever achieve is to give material gains to their followers and to themselves. That is the great difference there. That's why Lord Sutta Goswami, which is considered to be very, very qualified to discuss the spirit, the Srimad Bhagavatam because of his being a pure devotee of Krishna, a pure lover of Krishna, whose only interest, of course, is to help other souls, not only the not only the uh, not only the sages that were present there in the bank of Naimisaranya, but also, for example, like us right now, we're all bereft of spiritual knowledge. Are we get the blessing. We get the blessing of Sutta Goswami by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We get the blessing of our spiritual master. We get the blessing of Krishna. Okay? So, hanggang dito na lamang po tayo. If you have any questions, you may ask. Do you have a question? May question po kayo? Wala. Kung wala, can I ask who is in charge
Michi
for
po.
the Michi? Okay,
Yes
Michi,
po.
go ahead.
Namaste. Yes po, sir. Kirtan na po tayo. Srimate Sira
back to Brinda, Gopala, Govinda Rama, Mahadana, Mohana, Gopala, Govinda Rama, Mahadana, so much po. Haribol and Namaste.
Thank you very much, Michi, for that wonderful exit kirtan. Maraming salamat sa mga attendees ngayong gabi. I'd like to, of course, thank our admins in the room, si Rhea at saka si Mr. Freddie Merck. Thank you very much, guys.
Maraming salamat din po, Sir RadhaSyam Das at mga kaharibol.
Haribol, Mr. Freddie, the hardworking admin.
Oh no.
Ang tawag nito, lahat po mga I'd like to thank all the readers, no, as well as all the participants in
Haribol,
our
Sir
discussion.
Radha.
Haribol. Namaste, LV.
Haribol, Sir
Wala si
Radha.
LV. Haribol, Shani. Who is that,
Haribol.
Shani?
My niece,
Your niece.
Miggy.
What's your name?
My name is Miggy.
Miggy.
Oh,
Haribol, Sir Radha.
okay.
I was
Haribol.
Haribol.
Sir Radha.
My mommy is my watching.
Haribol. Little girl.
She's shy. Haribol, sir. Haribol,
Okay.
everyone.
Ang Rhea, please grab the mic. It's all yours now.
Thank you very much din po, Sir Radha. Thank you, Ma'am Elinet and Ma'am Mitz, for the wonderful kirtan, Sir Pravin, Ma'am Piggy and Ma'am Shani, and everyone who attended. Haribol, Namaste, Jaya Gurudev Krishna.
Jai Gurudev. Maraming salamat po.
Wala
Krishna,
naman, Mr.
Krishna.
Pravin. Elena, thank you sa iyong kirtan. Opening kirtan.
Thank you po.
Haribol. Krishna, good night, everyone. Haribol, signing off po.